Well, hello, aspiring wonks. This is your Friday political roundup. Or is it wrap up? Are we going with roundup or wrap up? We need to make a decision here and commit to a term. I say we go with roundup. I like roundup, but maybe we'll take a vote on it or something. Anyway, it's the end of a long week. Been a rough week for some of us, some colds, some ailments, some injuries, but we pressed through. We made some good progress. We got through everything we're trying to get through. And we have put ourselves in a nice position for a very productive Saturday coffee chat tomorrow. And I encourage you to come because next Saturday is the SATs, and so you'll be focused on that. And this is the third. Is this the third or fourth? I'm not sure. I'll have to look at my records. It might be the fourth coffee chat. So good stuff. We'll talk about what's going on with that tomorrow. A little later in the wrap up, or roundup. I don't remember what we're calling it. But anyway, let's wrap up the week. The main story was from today. House Speaker John Boehner is set to retire. He's long been under fire from conservatives within his own party, and he set his retirement date for October 30th, probably allowing him enough time to hammer out a deal on emergency funding for the budget, so it will avoid a government shutdown. Boehner announced his plans to step down as Speaker and resign from Congress at a closed door meeting with House Republicans on Friday morning. He said it became clear to him that he wanted to avoid a prolonged leadership battle, turmoil, and that it would do irreparable harm to the institution. Now, the announcement comes one day after the 65-year-old welcomed Pope Francis for the first papal visit to the Capitol, fulfilling a decades-long ambition for the speaker. He's been trying to get the Pope here for years, decades. So, let's see what else. Boehner resigned at a time when he had come under increasing pressure from conservatives who have criticized him for not doing enough to check President Obama. But the problem is the next speaker will face the same constraints as Mr. Boehner has faced, because although that the GOP has the largest House majority that they've had in decades, and Republicans now control both chambers of Congress, the fact is that Republicans only hold 54 seats in the Senate. And in the Senate, measures need 60 votes to clear procedural hurdles. Now, here's my question to you. If it only takes 51 votes or a majority of votes to pass a bill and move it to the president for signing, or pass the bill to the other house, why does it take 60 instead of 51? And if they're in the Senate, and why do the Republicans have such difficulty in the Senate if they have 54 seats? We're going to talk about that tomorrow. I set aside the second hour from 11 to 12 o'clock tomorrow to really breaking down the way the House and Senate are set up. And you're going to learn an interesting term, a term that I'm about to tell you. The term is filibuster. It starts with an F. Go ahead and Google it, look it up, and give yourself a little knowledge about the term. And you may have even heard the term before. But we're going to talk about why it's such an essential procedural hallmark in the Senate. The word again is filibuster. So be prepared for that tomorrow. Obama urged Republicans to recognize you don't get 100% of what you want in negotiations. Okay, thanks, Obama. But on other fronts, the U.S. and China announced steps on climate change, pledged by China to launch a program by 2017 to cap some emissions and put a price on carbon, and to contribute $3.1 billion to help poorer countries finance their own transition programs away from carbon. Let's see what else. This is an interesting development. Marco Rubio is set to pick up about 2/3 of the Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker's big donor fundraising apparatus. That's his PAC, super PAC, and individuals who are connected to that. So this is kind of a windfall for Rubio, and it should be interesting to see how he's able to manipulate. Remember, because he's a PAC, he can't manipulate it. The PAC has to work independently. Super PAC has to work independently. See if they're able to generate dollars to help Rubio. And you know, when you've seen the polls, Rubio is kind of tied with Ted Cruz, Chris Christie, that group. And Fiorina's emerged a little bit above them. But will Rubio be able to parlay this Walker residual fundraising apparatus and make himself a bit more appealing than the other people he's kind of within the margin of error of? You notice the word I just used, margin of error. That was not coincidence. So there you have it. That's the political roundup. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., bagels, coffee. We'll do some reassessment. Many of you, too many of you, still need to reassess Chapter 1. Don't leave those points on the table. 10 points for the reassessment, 5 points if you do it a third time, and 20 points if you get 100. And the first person got the first 100. So it can be done. It's not impossible. And you might be the next. So we got Chapter 1, Chapter 2 to reassess, and plenty of fundamental issues to learn about federalism while we stay focused on politics. And you can rest assured you're going to see another FRQ. You're going to see it sooner than later, and you're going to start seeing some court cases. McCulloch versus Maryland, Gibbons versus Ogden. These are some of the seminal cases that help define the parameters and structures of the power of the federal government in this country. Important stuff. Get a good night's sleep. Have pleasant dreams. Get up early. Tune into the political websites that you're interested in. Politico. That's always a good one. And most of all, if you are one of these people who is heading to the NAC centers, SAT prep, you're more than welcome to swing by. Remember, it only takes about 20 minutes to do a reassessment or to have a short conversation about how to proceed with your particular plan to increase your grade, or just to stop by, have a bagel, say hello, be in a political atmosphere. Don't let those people at the NAC control your entire morning. You are a free spirit. Swing on by. Say hello. Let me teach you another political word that you wouldn't have already have learned otherwise. So I look forward to seeing all of you. And 35 of you showed up. Let's stop this 50% no-show rate. Bruegger's is donating 30 bagels. If we split it in half, that's 60. 60 bagels. Come on, guys. Let's get it together. So, see you tomorrow. We'll be very productive. Go Falcons. That's the spirit. You see me? I got into the spirit. All right. Good night.